Oh, hey, I'm Doug.
And I'm Pat.
Welcome back to the Doug and Pat Show. Pat, today we're going to talk about P90 pickups. Remember
Right.
when we were talking about that?
That's right. That's
And
right.
you wanted to talk about the PAFs again?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay,
remember.
okay. We'll can talk about that a little bit later, but every once in a while we got to branch out. You
Okay.
know, there's a video of Joe Bonamassa on his Facebook page.
Oh,
For
yeah.
some unknown reason, he's got this Les Paul Standard that's brown with P90s. And he just happened to be talking about how great he thought those P90s sound, which we were planning on doing this show. So that was kind of interesting.
You know, we've said all along that the P90s tend to have kind of the same characteristics of a good humbucking pickup. And
It's the same sort of basic tone. And if
Exactly.
you hear a Standard with P90s in it with humbucking, they kind of sound similar. I think that might be because, I'll speculate here.
okay.
That way people can write in and correct us in the comment section. I think when Seth Lover was designing that pickup, I think he was not trying to change the sound of the Gibson guitar. He was trying to create that sound again, but in a noiseless pickup. And as we know with the P90, that's a single coil pickup. In case you guys didn't know that, here's an example of one of the ones that we're going to try out in this show. This is by RC Pickups. It's a single coil with two magnets in the bottom of it. There's something on the screen for you. And these pickups, the single coils were in use by Gibson almost from the beginning. The P90, I don't know why it's called P90. Do you know why they're called P90?
I do, but I'm not saying.
Is it?
So you write in and tell us what you think is the reason they call them P90s.
And then we'll correct them and see if they're wrong.
That's right.
They came out with this pickup a little bit after World War II, 46, right about the time I think you were just getting out of high school. And sometimes they call these pickups the soap bar pickups because they look a little bit like a soap bar in case you happen to have black soap. We have an example of an earlier one. What? Grab that guitar right there. Gibson was using these pickups on all their guitars until the humbucking pickups, including the Les Paul series, starting in '52. What's this one?
This is a 54 Les Paul Standard.
Yeah, it has the thing there.
Yep.
This is the reason why they call them soap bars.
Oh,
So that they made the black covers, I think, for other guitars that they put those pickups on. So anyway, they had two magnets in them, and they used them on the Standard, on the Special, and on the Custom, and pretty much on everything until humbuckings came along in '57. We are going to swap out some pickups that we got from some pickup builders. Those would be Lawlers, Tyson Tone Lab pickups, P90s, and RC pickups. Robert Conley, a builder in Connecticut, sent us some. And we are going to try and hear the difference between what they sound like. One of the dilemmas I think we have in doing that is that the ideal thing would be to take them out of this guitar, right? Because this is Pat's guitar, so, but we're not going to do that because Pat's a little resistant to that. And we're not going to do it to any of the old guitars. We're not going to take the pickups out of the old guitars because they're collectible and you do stuff like that. And it affects
but
the vibe.
if you want to hear one of these pickups in your old guitar and want to pull the pickups out yourself, send them on over. We'll gladly do that for you.
How exactly would that work?
Well,
Okay, so let's say somebody, like you're watching right now and you go, yeah, I have this 1956 Les Paul Standard Gold Top,
mhm.
and I'd sure like to hear the RCs in that with Doug and Pat doing a demo on it. How would that work? Would they send us the guitar?
Yeah.
And will we send it back?
Probably not.
If they don't want it back, we wouldn't send it
No.
back. Okay, just to be clear.
Yeah.
So that's a service that we offer. So since we're not going to take the pickups out of the guitar, we're going to play a couple of vintage guitars with the P90s in them. We're going to play this guitar. We're going to play the 56 Special over there. We're going to play a newer. Is this a custom shop guitar?
It is.
It's all mahogany. It's beautiful, and it has P90s in it too. So we're going to play a variety of instruments with Gibson pickups in it, the original Gibson pickups. But the test guitars we're going to use are going to be Les Paul Specials.
Are you going to take the pickups out of this one?
We won't be taking the pickups out of this one either. But we will be comparing them to the pickups that we're going to swap out in this, so which are going to be the Gibson pickups, the Lawlers, the Tysons, and the RCs. We're going to record them running through the Vox AC-10 head 1965. It's right behind us. It's our standard test amp. We run it through a speaker cabinet that has two G12 Alnico 12s, also 1965. The reason we do that is because that's a great sounding combination, and it brings out a lot of the tone that these guitars have to offer, because we've tried a lot of amps and that one seems to do it the best. And then we also have another custom shop special over here, and we're going to do the same thing with that. So what we're going to end up with is the sound of the original guitars, then the sounds of the custom shop guitars traded out. We record with a Sennheiser E609 close mic on the speaker cabinet, and we use a distance microphone using a Shure KSM 44 run into Pro Tools. No compression, no EQ, just straight in, and we go straight into the amplifier. No processor, no pedals, just directly in. The amp's on about a third of the way, tone's about halfway up. And then we'll run those clips through there, and we can see if we can hear the difference between all of these guys.
All right.
Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Let's get started. Okay, let's hear the three old guitars first, so we can kind of hear the traditional sounds, you know, kind of the sound that I think that all those companies are going for. We're going to start with the 54 Gold Top, then we're going to go to the 56 Special. These are both pickups on both guitars. And then we added in a 56 Les Paul Jr., obviously just the bridge pickup, so we can kind of center in. Those guitars all sounded totally different from each other, didn't they?
Every one of them, and I don't know. Maybe it's the maple cap on the 54 Gold Top that makes it sound so much different.
It sounded
from the
brighter.
Special. Yeah,
It sounded bright. They all, though, don't you think, had that greasy, that personality to them.
Yeah.
That those P90s have. All of them had that. And then we're just going to let this run right in a row. And then we're going to go to the Red Special, Custom Shop Special. This is a newer one. And we're going to go to the Gibson pickup, and then we're going to swap it out and do some of the older pickups from there. So let's start out with the 54 Gold Top.
All right.
Now let's go to that red special, like what we said before. This is with the stock Gibson pickups, P90 pickups that came with it.
Right.
Yeah. And then we'll use that guitar as the template to swap the pickups out. Next up, Lawlers.
In a Les Paul Special.
Same one. In this one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What do we know about these things, Pat? These
Well,
Lawlers.
Well, these are the 50s style P90s, and so I know that the bridge is wound at 7.1, and the neck pickup is 7.4. That's all I know about them. They sound real good.
Yeah, that's and so we just got through hearing the Gibsons, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's compare them to the Lawlers.
They all sound different.
Next up, we're going to go to the Tyson pickups. When we go to the Tyson pickups and some of the other small winders, I think we're kind of getting into a new thing that we, as the Doug and Pat show, have kind of discovered, which is that these small winders, as we talk to them, exchange emails with them, and see their product that they send to us, these guys, unlike Lawler, and even though Lawler has probably a custom shop, or Duncan has a custom shop, these guys are a custom shop. You can talk to them, talk about the windings and the magnets. These guys really care. That's, I guess, if anything else I get out of that from those guys.
Yeah, and most of them that we've talked to, it's like one person, start to finish on pickups. So they're doing all the winding themselves. They're in the case of Tyson, where he evens out the magnets, gets rid of the hot spots in them. Little things like that I'm sure that the larger pickup manufacturers don't, go to those great pains.
Yeah, so well, we certainly don't know about that.
Right.
And you can see the video of the road trip and talk to Bob Tyson. But these other guys that we have after this are like that too.
Yeah.
And so there are these independent winders that are out there you would never know about, or at least we would never know about them. So we really appreciate the fact they're sending us the pickups. And we get to hear them, which we're going to do next, and get to talk to them. So I guess if anything else, we say, email these guys and talk to them and get to know them. They might be a really great source for you. So these are the Tysons, the neck and the bridge in the special.
And most of these guys will wind your pickups however you want them.
Exactly.
So, you know, if your bridge pickup is a little too hot, you don't like it quite that way, you know, they'll make it not so hot. And
So talk about the way that the pickups are wound, types of magnets. I mean, everything that there is to talk about, they'll do it. They're really into it. It's exciting stuff.
great.
Next up are the RC pickups. The RC stands for Robert Conley,
All right.
and he is in Connecticut. I exchanged some emails with him. He's kind of like the guy we're looking for, like Tyson is, and like some of these other winders. He's really into it. He has some information to hear about him, but here's something else that's pretty cool. They send us the pickups, and they come with a lot of miscellaneous swag with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the box, that pretty cool box that comes with the pickup. You want to hold that?
Ugh.
Also has a pretty cool transfer that we stuck on one of our things around here. So thanks, Rob, for that. He, this is a little electronic device pad that you don't have to plug into the wall very often.
When did they come out with that?
They came out with this about 20 years ago, I think.
Oh.
This one's 20 years old. So like I said, Rob's in Connecticut. So here's kind of a cool thing.
They got telephones too with
What?
wires.
Hello? Pat? Pat? Can you hear me? I love these things. Or maybe I can send you a text and then you can read it.
Well, how come guitars that were made back in the 50s are still the same as they are right now?
Well, no. The new ones are different.
Oh.
You're talking about Les Pauls and all
Yeah,
that?
I like the way that they wrote the thing on the headstock.
That's good, yeah. My grandson wrote that.
Did he with crayons?
Yeah, use some chalk. But we digress. Here's what Rob writes. He's been repairing, modifying guitars and pickups since the 70s. He was rewinding stock pickups. You know, kind of the way that guys get into doing that stuff. I was swapping out pickups and all that stuff, but he obviously took it quite a bit further. And he has a couple hand winding machines that he built himself, a couple auto traverse coil winding machines. He also is a guy that you can contact him, and here's the contact information that you see here, about building you a pickup that's exactly what you want. So he is a custom shop guy. That's all he does. Everything's basically custom. You can go to his website and see the models that he offers. But so anyway, we loaded his pickups that he sent us into the special, and this is what they sound like.
All right.
Okay, hold the phone.
Okay.
Just in. We thought that we were done doing the demos, and we just got in another set of pickups from a guy in Canada. His name is Nathan Sanford, and he has sent us a number of pickups. P90, which we're going to do in the show now,
Okay.
and 3 different humbucking pickups that we're going to do in the next show about humbucking pickups. Here again, a really, really cool guy. I wish I could read the whole email exchange that I've had with him, but he is a guy like the rest of the small winders that we're talking about that just really cares. He's just like, he says he's not into building replicas. He uses as much as possible to vintage spec, but you know, he's into openness of the winds, clarity.
There you go.
That's a good thing. We could probably post some of this stuff so you can read about it, but we're glad that we got these in time to be able to put them on the show. Now check this out, talk about the swag. So these are the 2 pickups that are in here, and here's what you get. Get the pickup out like yonder. I love this Sanford Magnetics. It's so retro looking. We're just here in Made in Canada, our friends to the north from Portland, Oregon. We have the pickups. We have a card. He talks about this one, which is a 7.9K bridge pickup. There it is. And he's got a little blurb here about his handcrafted stuff. Thank you for choosing, etc. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about that same sort of thing.
We're in Canada? Is it Monkford?
Monkford, New Brunswick, Canada. Yeah.
Oh.
So Nathan, thank you for sending us these. We're going to pop them into the guitar right now, and we're going to drive them around. Very, very cool.
Monkford.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were our friends during the war.
No, the A is silent.
Is it?
A?
Sorry about that, Nathan. Exciting. Let's hear it.
In this guitar.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
Or
it.
we could put it in Oscar. No, let's put it in this one. In this one.
Okay.
Here we go. So Pat, what did we learn from this? Did we learn anything at all?
I think so. I think that if you're looking for a pickup for your guitar, you want to change the sound of your guitar, you got a certain sound in your head, you need to not just look at the major manufacturers. Look at some of these smaller guys, and you know, if you have a sound in mind that you want in particular, contact one of these guys and tell them what you're looking for, and you know, they'll help you. You know, whether it be they use an A2 magnet or an A5 or 4 or whatever in there. They'll wind them to your specs and get that tone and that sound that you want.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? How would we have known about these guys if we weren't doing this show? I really don't know.
No.
They obviously are selling pickups, but yeah, you're so right. That's exactly what we learned.
That's right.
Also, we learned that you can never go home again. No, we didn't learn that.
Oh.
No. Click,
Yes,
click.
yeah. Should call my wife.
Yeah, all right. Okay, you can also go to our website. Here's the website address thing, whatever they call that on the bottom of the screen there. And we have our t-shirts, we have our caps, we have all kinds of fun stuff. You can see the shows, learn about the guitars, and make Doug and Pat rich, which I think is always paramount in our mind.
That would be really cool.
That would be great. So, until next time, I'm Doug.
And I'm Pat.
See you later.
See ya. How old are we?